My name is Sunny Garcia, and I am Vice President of Project Management at GVB Biopharma. I want to thank you guys for coming and listening to my speech today, and I hope that you guys learned something about the CBD world or get inspired to get into the CBD world. If you have any follow-up questions regarding anything that I either discussed or didn't cover that you're interested in or curious about, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I think all of my information should be on the exhibitors page. So if you want to go there and get my email, please reach out to me. I'm expecting a flood of emails with follow-up questions. So let's just jump right into it. GVB Biopharma is a completely vertically integrated global leader in the ever-growing hemp industry. We prioritize cannabinoid research, industry innovation, as well as traceable quality control. From seed to shelf, we produce innovative hemp-based products for customers, partners, and employees seeking a better quality of life through hemp technology. Our core lines of business, what we specialize in, is industrial hemp farming, CBD raw material manufacturing and bulk sales, private and white label product manufacturing, and retail and e-commerce, and a whole lot more, but those are our primaries. GVB operates 3 state-of-the-art facilities: a 30,000 square foot food grade hemp processing facility that produces all of our CBD raw materials in Central Oregon, as that's where a lot of our farms are as well. And then a 40,000 square foot white label, private label, customer product manufacturing facility based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And our largest international leg of the business is based in the UK, where we have another white label, private label manufacturing facility for customer products. And it also houses an extensive amount of our CBD raw materials to distribute throughout the UK and Europe. We have 6 offices here in the United States, offices or manufacturing facilities here in the United States, all over from coast to coast. And we have 3 internationally in China, UK, and Colombia. And by the time you have questions, I'm sure we will already have a new leg internationally. So the CBD industry, obviously, this slide is from a purely financial perspective, but in the last 6 years, the CBD industry has absolutely skyrocketed. I'm sure you guys have all heard of it. I'm sure it's, at least comes up once every couple of weeks in everyone's world. But from a purely financial perspective, to give you something to hold on to, it's like, let's say 2018. 2018, I think the market was estimated to be around 238 million. Fast forward 4 or 5 years to 2022. So it's projected by 2022 to hit $22 billion. So in 4 years, it goes from 5 years, it goes from 238 million to potentially 22 billion. So that's just kind of to give you guys a good idea of the gravity of it. So I really wanted to put this on the front of my presentation, really talking about the confusion around CBD, because I know a lot of the people watching this is actually not in the CBD world yet, may potentially want to be in the CBD world, but there is a lot of confusion around it for people who are not in it, that I wanted to address some of those confusion points and kind of talk about how it is not actually that confusing. So first of all, obviously a huge confusion point is uncertainty with restrictions by the government. There has been talk for about 4 years at this point about a plan that the government has to roll out a formal CBD guideline. They've issued statements here and there about marketing restrictions or claim restrictions, but I think to the public, and at least in my personal opinion, these have all seemed to be pretty temporary until a formal guideline has been released. So, that is obviously a stopping point for a lot of people getting in, not knowing what the government's going to do, not wanting to sink a bunch of money into something that may change dramatically. It's not going to change dramatically. There's currently 2 bills in the government right now that are going to change the landscape for the positive of anyone in the CBD industry and release a lot more clarity around it very soon. So we expect a lot of these issues to be cleared up within the next year. That also has to do with marketing restrictions. So obviously, marketing nowadays is one of the key factors of a successful business. And when you have something that you have marketing restrictions, and it mainly is based around claim restrictions. So, coming out and saying this clears acne is still not allowed. So marketing restrictions are very, very easily avoidable. There are so many ways to go around it that are completely safe for your business and legal if done correctly. But for someone just starting out trying to learn about CBD, having these marketing restrictions may be a potential barrier that stops them. Again, we expect a lot of marketing restrictions to be lifted once there's a little bit more clarity around it, all in the next year. There's a lot of pressure on the government right now because it is such a monster industry, because it's so lucrative for so many people, and because mostly and most importantly, there is so many benefits and it is helping so many people. There's a lot of pressure on the government to move things forward. The last thing that I wanted to talk about with regards to confusion and the government is really clinical trials. I guess not really the government, but is clinical trials. So there are so many clinical trials being done. Everyone from the FDA to government entities to private entities to big pharma, doing a number of tests on different ailments and different benefits that CBD has. Now, some of these have been released. They're just not easily accessible to the public yet. And some of them have not been released. They're doing, when you do these big clinical trials, it's years. So they're doing 2-year, 5-year, 10-year clinical trials. And once those are becoming more released, it will be so much clearer for the end consumer to be able to get their hands on clear information about how CBD can actually benefit you. And this will also because there's going to be scientific data backing it up. There is still some this day, but as I mentioned, it is a little bit harder to find for the average person. The last confusion point doesn't have anything to do with government. It's more of a human psyche that I wanted to discuss, and it has something to do with variety. So variety in products, variety in benefits. I think as humans, it is hard for us to wrap our head around a product like CBD, because it can go into anything from dog treats for anxiety. It can go into shampoo. It can go into topicals for acne or aging or, anxiety or sleeping problems, epilepsy, so many things. There's so many products. There's so many potential benefits that can stress people out and be like, it must be a hoax because there's no way that this can help this much. So I wanted to talk really quickly about basically the variety of benefits and why there is so many potential benefits. So the CBD molecule is made up of tons and tons of minor cannabinoids. So you may have heard of them, things like CBN, CBG, CBC, CBA, and they're all inside of a single CBD molecule. So each one there's a lot of crossover between them, and they all have multiple benefits to them, but each one has really targeted benefits to it. So let's take, because this is a topical conference, cosmetic conference, let's take topical acne serums. So if you're using CBD in a topical acne serum, you're really looking for the minor cannabinoid called CBG. CBG has a lot of potential benefits for inflammation and antifungal properties, oil balancing properties. So you have, a acne serum that is just CBD. You're only getting, say, anywhere from 5 to 20% CBG in there, and it works. It definitely will help. But if you're able to extract that minor cannabinoid and amplify it, so instead of 10 to 20, 5%, you actually can amplify it to be getting 99%, 98% CBG. So that is kind of in a really quick way to talk about all the different benefits or potential benefits that are causing this variety in the CBD market in general, because there are so many cannabinoids that have targeted benefits. There are so many different ways that it can potentially help. Therefore, it's in a lot of products. Now, I do not anticipate there to be any limitations or, lessening on the variety of products out there. I think as people start learning more about the minor cannabinoids and, these clinical trials are coming out and the government lifts regulations and things like that, I think there's even going to be more variety of products out there, but they're going to be a little bit more targeted, and they're definitely going to be a little bit more understood to the end consumer of what it is for and why, you can eat it, put it in your gum, but also put it in shampoo. So that's a little spiel on kind of the confusion. Just really wanted to cover that. So next, how does it work? The endocannabinoid system is responsible for regulating balance in the body's communication between cells. So everything from metabolism to memory to pain to sleep, wake cycles, anxiety, everything that our body processes through cell-to-cell communication. When ingested, CBD interacts with the regulatory network through its cannabinoid receptors, which is found naturally throughout the body. And taking CBD may help to improve this cell-to-cell communication. So I always think of it as like a oil lubricant for your car. It really will help, even if you're taking it not for a specific purpose, but you're taking it on a day-to-day basis, or you're putting it on topically for a day-to-day basis. I think you can really get a lot of potential benefits out of it because, you have those natural cannabinoid receptors. And just improving cell-to-cell communication. So obviously, we are not here to learn about the endocannabinoid system when it is ingested. We are here to talk about using it topically for cosmetics in particular. The opportunities are endless, in my opinion, when it comes to topical skincare. And this gets me so excited. I think maybe because I'm a female and I'm obsessed with topicals and skincare and all that. But it's really exciting learning about these, minor cannabinoids, learning about, all these different scientific advancements within the CBD world and how it can really benefit the skin and everyday problems that people go through on the skin. Opportunities, like I said, are limitless with topicals. If you are an established company with existing products, you can essentially use all your existing SKUs and add CBD into it or other cannabinoids into them for added benefits without the hassle of having to go through the extensive R&D process on a completely new product. You can obviously, and I have a lot of clients do this, create your own products that have ingredients that specifically support the CBD. So if that is something that you're interested in, that is really easy as well. But in my personal opinion, for a lot of people out there who already have cosmetic companies, if you already have, products that people are buying that's proven to work, adding CBD or minor cannabinoids into it will open up a whole other avenue of benefits as well as revenue streams without having to completely reinvent the wheel. So you really can't go wrong with either. But if I were an established company that already had, a bunch of skincare products, just putting CBD or minor cannabinoids in it may be probably the easiest and best route because you have people already buying those products. So research suggests that the cannabinoids and the endocannabinoid system play a huge role in the bodily process, and that the skin contains a good amount of cannabinoid receptors. So transdermal CBD, obviously meaning that the drug goes through the skin and into the bloodstream through the skin, could be useful for treating a number of skin-related issues like acne, eczema, rosacea, infections, pain. So I obviously wanted to bring in a major player, somebody like Sephora, a company like Sephora, who dominates the cosmetic world, so that we all have something to kind of compare and relate to. Now, Sephora's catalog alone has over 32 skincare products, 14 bath and body items, 4 fragrances, 2 hair cares. So that obviously seems like a lot, but if you think about Sephora, let's talk about an acne serum again. They have hundreds of acne serums. So it's kind of the perfect thing to kind of base off of, where you can tell that the market isn't saturated yet when it comes to topicals, but you can tell that there is going to be future demand. And, a company like Sephora is not going to put time, resources, finances into building out something like a sector of the company for CBD without, at least seeing, demand or anticipating future demand, most importantly. A Grand View research study reports that the CBD skincare market will be around 1.7 billion by 2024. So that's just kind of an example of, how big this is going to be within the skincare world. So I want to get into quickly the benefits, potential benefits that using transdermal CBD may help with. Obviously, this one's probably the most obvious: pain management. It is, has the best historical track record because a lot of people have been using it for pain management for a really long time. But CBD has anti-inflammatory properties within it that may help to promote recovery for inflamed areas, bring down swelling for inflamed areas. So that's why it's, really important. And this is what I used to use as a ski racer. I had so many injuries, and I used to use a lot of CBD, and I still do a lot of CBD for pain management, as well as, like, let's take my grandma. She has arthritis all over her hands. So she is constantly putting CBD on her hands. And when she gets down to like her last 2 weeks worth, I'll get a call from her frantic, like, I can't run out. So, definitely a lot of people know about its benefits for pain management. Acne. Ooh, acne. Struggled with this for a really long time, and I think a lot of people have. It is obviously the most common skin condition in humans. So CBD contains compounds with oil balancing, with anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial properties that may help improve acne, as well as some studies show that it may help to improve acne scars as well. Dryness and itching. The anti-inflammatory properties of CBD may be particularly useful when reducing potential triggers of things like eczema, dermatitis, dryness, itching, things like that. The last one is aging. Acne, aging. If you're a woman watching this, obviously, those are very big deals. So aging, in 2017, if I'm correct, studied the antioxidant properties of CBD. And obviously, you guys are in skincare, you know that oxidative stress is one of the #1 causes of physical signs of aging. So therefore, if you have something that has antioxidant properties, anti-inflammatory properties like CBD, it may be able to help the appearance of aging in the skin. The last one is infections. So topical infections in the skin. CBD contains antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and antifungal properties in it that may be helpful and useful when treating infections on the skin as well. Okay, last slide. How GVB can help you today. So if you're a manufacturer, you are an ingredient supplier, you have an established company that has in-house manufacturing or outsources your manufacturing to a different manufacturer for your cosmetics or your skincare products, we can get you the highest quality CBD raw materials on the market today. As I mentioned before about the minor cannabinoids, we actually specialize in minor cannabinoids like CBG, CBN, CBC, and a lot of more common raw materials like water solubles, distillates, and isolates. So if you are just looking to basically get raw material from us, hands off, we've got that down to a T. Now, if you are wanting to outsource your product development, your private labeling, to a CBD specific manufacturer, we can help you get your final products in-house, label them, package them, and ship them to you. We have a in-house R&D team. So if you are wanting to create products and bounce ideas off of our R&D team, what we're seeing helps the most support CBD, we can walk you through that process. Or you can say, I have these finalized formulas, and I would really like you guys to basically just recreate these. I've definitely seen not a lot, but I've seen cosmetic manufacturers who are well-established cosmetic manufacturers, or they outsource their products to another manufacturer. They will come to us and say, we already use a manufacturer, but we really want a CBD specific manufacturer to produce our CBD lines. So that you guys can help us, through regulatory processes, and you guys our head is in it 24/7. So we can definitely be giving you, what is selling, what are the trends in the market, and kind of aid you that way as well. So it's really however you want. You can jump in on the process in any time and kind of get out. If you're just wanting raw material, if you're wanting, private label, if you're wanting to do R&D, if you're just wanting to send us your already formulas, we can help with all of the above. So thank you guys so much for being here and staying tuned this long. As I mentioned at the very start of my presentation, if you have any follow-up questions, this was a very fast and very quickly digested presentation. So if you have follow-up questions about anything that I covered, if you have any follow-up questions about things that I did not cover that you're curious about, please do not hesitate to reach out. And I hope that I inspired some people to get into the CBD world. I do, on a personal note, I literally, I grew up with everyone being like, oh, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I always was like, oh, no, still sounds like work to me. But, coming into the CBD industry and being along for the ride of its absolute uphill trajectory, all the scientific, advancements that are coming out of it, all of the excitement around people that it's really helping. It's obviously financially lucrative. It's a really, really exciting industry to be in. And, I would not shy away anyone from trying to get into it. And I hope that we can help you make that process easier. So I thank you for being here and look forward to speaking with you guys.